फास्टेस्ट क्रिकेट स्कोर अपडेट्स या सबसे डिटेल्ड स्टैट्स,
क्रिकेट के अंदर बाहर की खबरें
या हेल्दी डिबेट्स,
सबसे एक्यूरेट एनालिसिस
या फैंस का क्रेज, सबके लिए एक ही प्लेटफॉर्म, क्योंकि क्रिकेट मतलब क्रिकेट नेक्स्ट।
Hello everyone, you're watching Cricket Next. I'm Surama Kaushik. It's time for the first test match between India and England. Well, this is 25th of January and we have already witnessed the toss. England have won the toss and they have opted to bat first in Hyderabad. I have with me Vineet Ramakrishnan live from Hyderabad, and we'll see what's going around there and how he sees this toss. Along with Vineet, I also have with me Network 18 Group Sports Editor K. Srinivas Rao and Taus Rizvi. Welcome everyone to this live session. Vineet, first up, England have opted to bat first. How do you see this decision? And you've been there in Hyderabad. How is the pitch and how are the conditions?
Well, hello. Am I audible?
Yes, we can hear
Yeah.
you.
So it's a logical decision, right? If you win a toss in India, you bat first. Nobody wants to bat last on the crumbling Indian pitches. So it's a good toss to win for England and a series opener. That's an advantage for them. How much of they'll exploit this advantage is something that you will have to see. It would be interesting to see how their openers Ben Becker and Zach Crawley go about things. The conditions here, quite surprisingly, yesterday evening I was on the show and talking to Srini and others, and I said it's quite hot here. But today the conditions have changed. It's overcast. There's a bit nice breeze also. Overcast conditions are there. I am looking at these conditions and looking and seeing expecting somebody like a Bumrah and Siraj to have a good 1 hour of fast bowling here under overcast conditions. It'll be tough. You're talking about spinners, but the first 1 hour, Jasprit Bumrah and Mohammad Siraj may spring a surprise and have put England in the back foot for sure. In terms of the vibe, look, the scores of fans who are coming in. I was here an hour early and I could see a lot of England fans coming in. The Barmy Army, in a way, were outnumbering the Indian fans, but then again, wouldn't be the case. People are still coming in numbers. As you mentioned, toss has happened by 9:30, 10. I think you would see a lot of no, Indian fans also. There are a lot of Virat Kohli fans. Virat Kohli t-shirts are there, despite the fact that Virat Kohli is not playing this game. Rohit Sharma, 45 number. I can see a lot of England fans here also. With their blue ODI jerseys here, they'll be hoping to get a good game in. I was talking to a few fans, also England fans, and all of them, in unison were saying it was a very interesting choice of playing 11 for the England team, going ahead with three spinners and just one pacer. Will be interesting to see how things pan out for the England team here.
Yes, obviously, we saw England's 11, but right now we can also see India's 11. They have chosen three spinners and two seamers. Vineet, Rohit Sharma mentioned at the toss that it was a tough one to keep aside Kuldeep Yadav as they have went ahead with Akshar Patel. So Akshar Patel is in the team. How do you see that decision? And as Rohit mentioned, that keeping Kuldeep away was a tough one. Do you think that this is the right choice that Team India has made?
Oh, it's been a right choice for a long time, isn't it? Right from the Border Gavaskar Trophy, there's no reason to drop Akshar Patel. Look, there are two reasons why you can, change your lineup or change your winning combination. One is the conditions dictate. Here, again, the conditions are not seamer friendly, where you probably drop Akshar Patel and get in an extra seamer, or you probably drop Akshar Patel for Kuldeep Yadav. As I mentioned in the previous show as well, Akshar Patel has shown consistency with both bat and ball, scored crucial runs down the order. There is no reason to drop Akshar Patel. Highly unfortunate for Kuldeep Yadav, but Rohit Sharma did mention, look, there was a time when he was also coming up the ranks and he had to wait a long time to get a game in because there were other senior players there, other good players there. So Kuldeep Yadav, it's a case of, just, having the support of the team and just hoping, whenever he gets the opportunity, he grabs it by with both his hands. And again, the team selection on expected lines, no surprises there.
Absolutely. Yes, we were expecting the same 11. We need, lastly, there was this long debate going around KL Rahul versus Bharat versus Jurel. And Bharat has obviously made his place in the 11. How do you see this decision as well? I remember that in a number of live shows, we mentioned that Bharat will be an ideal choice to be in this 11. But now this debate has been settled now. Do you see that this is a good one for the whole team?
Look, this debate was settled much before. Rahul Dravid and Rohit Sharma in their press conferences had mentioned that there's no way KL Rahul is going to keep in this series, and
Absolutely.
makes perfect sense in the sense. Look, KL Rahul without Virat Kohli in that lineup becomes a very vital, batter in that middle order. You don't want to have your prime batter, keeping for 100 odd overs, against spinners. That too, that he wants to focus. The management would want to focus on his batting, so makes perfect sense. And it's the case of, you have seen when Ruddhiman Saha and Rishabh Pant were there. Pant was your overseas specialist. Saha was your Indian condition
Exactly.
specialist. So it's the same logic here as well. Whenever India travels abroad, Rahul would be there as a keeper to accommodate that extra bowling option. Indian condition, you don't need to do that, and also it plays out well in the sense Virat Kohli is not there, so you can accommodate KL Rahul as an pure batter. The issue would come when Virat Kohli comes back for the third test, hopefully, and then what they will do. Then there will be a toss up between Rahul and Shrikar. But otherwise, if there is an option like this, Bharat, through and through. Dhruv Jurel never was in the contention, to be honest. Young guy, got his first maiden call up, will be part of the Indian setup for a while. Will eventually make his debut in the next couple of years or so. But again, he's just a backup there. And that's what it is. Srikar Bharat was always going to be India's number one choice. And again, logical decision there also.
Absolutely. And you rightly mentioned that, how Team India has chosen Srikar Bharat as their backup. Some kids there coming in good numbers to watch Test
Yeah,
cricket.
so
Well,
I was speaking to the SCA president, newly elected president Jagmohan Rao, and he mentioned that near about 5,000 tickets have been given to the school children. So on a daily basis, you could see near about 5,000, 6,000 odd children, school children coming in, to witness this test match. Could be 3 days, could be 5 days. Anybody's guess, but yeah, that's a very good gesture, and you can see all these school children coming in. You would have a very ruckus crowd for sure for
yeah.
this morning session at least.
And much needed for Test cricket, isn't it, Vineet?
Oh yeah, I mean that debate is always there, much needed or not. But more than this, what happens in that 22 yards is what matters. And India have been giving you that kind of performances. So much needed or all much deserved. It's your pick.
Actually, right. You mentioned the right word, much deserved. Well, thank you so much, Vineet, for joining with us.
I have a question for Vineet if
Okay,
he's
Taos has a
available to answer.
question for you, and then we'll
Yeah,
let you
yeah,
go
that
there
was.
on WhatsApp.
Vineet, did you have a closer look at the wicket? How did you find it today, fresh in the
Look,
morning?
closer look. I did for the last couple of days. I've been trying to have a look, not closer look because I'm not allowed in the too close to it. But from
From the side.
the point of view of what I could make out, that it's dry there. It's a dry wicket, and there were especially those two strips where spinners length you would say those particular areas are pretty dry. Yesterday, Chetan mentioned there was a bit of sprinkling of water also happening, till 4 p.m. But look, it's a turning. It could be a turning track. Could start turning by the second day or the third day. Ben Stokes said that he's expecting a turn. Same is what Rohit Sharma also alluded to. But the fact is, look, from a point of view of what I could see, it's just a dry pitch. It'll spin. Definitely no grass on it. There are patches where spinners would be in contention, but that's something that we have seen in Border Gavaskar Trophy as well, and in the last 2 years whenever India have played here in home conditions.
Hmm. And Rohit Sharma also said the same thing. He also said that the wicket looks dry, and that's how they have made their 11. He said at the toss. Well, thank you so much, Vineet, for joining with us. Stay tuned with us for all the latest info from Hyderabad. So, Vineet joined us live from Hyderabad. Thanks a lot, Vineet. We'll be getting
Thank
back to
you.
you. We have Srini and Taus with us. Srini, first of all, how do you see this 11? It's pretty much on the expected lines, but given we already saw England's 11 a day before, so how do you see both the sides for the first test match?
Well, I mean, England have had already announced the side, so whatever the surprise was when they had announced was came when they announced it. By virtue of they saying that they're going to go into the game with three spinners, not because the conditions don't demand it, but in a way, it's like I thought it was a very bold and a very brave statement from England. Uh, as I said the other day in the show, I think the way it came across is England trying to tell India is that in your own backyard, where spin seems to be your lethal weapon against a visiting team, are you good enough to counter your own strength? Are you good enough to play on your own strength? That I think is a statement that's been made by England. And true, in my opinion, the way I see it, this is going to be a challenge for this Indian team, especially with Virat Kohli not being there in the lineup. Now, I'll tell you what, you asked Vineet this question, about what happens to this lineup when Virat Kohli returns.
Yeah.
And, could there be a shuffle between KL Rahul and KS Shikhar? But that's what he spoke about, right? No.
Yeah.
For me, the opportunity here is Shubman Gill's, because he's the one replacing Virat at number three. When
Mm.
Virat comes back, it is that number three slot he will gain. He will take back, right, which is rightfully his. And I don't see any change happening where a full-time wicketkeeper is concerned. I don't see KL Rahul wicket for
Mm.
5 tests, on turners like these. So that's
Yeah.
not going to happen. So that said, it's a challenge for India's batsmen.
Yep.
And for they're not batting first, of course. It's a great toss for England to win. It's understandable that they've kind of elected to bat first. But when the time comes, that challenge is going to be India's. How do you counter England's three spinners? And from that perspective, I think it's a good challenge thrown by England. It
Yes.
is. It's like, if you look at it, it's like sort of an analogy to what baseball could be from an India standpoint, from an India standpoint.
Well, I was waiting for this term to come in this live session. I thought that, first Vineet will bring in this term, but he did not. And right now, Srini has used it. And I would love to continue the conversation from that term only. Thus, that England have won this toss. They have opted to bat first. How are you looking towards the baseball show now? Because we'll be seeing England batters, the openers will be coming up, and we have seen quite a lot many times that the openers also go very aggressive from the start of the first day itself. So, how are you looking forward to? Do you think that Hyderabad's condition and the pitch is the right one to continue with the baseball show?
See, baseball works in these conditions because baseball is all about taking on the attack. And when you play on these kind of wickets, you can't have a conservative or a defensive or an orthodox approach. And this is what exactly. So winning a toss in India is very crucial in test matches because the second, third, fourth day is very, very dangerous, very difficult for the batters to handle. So this is a jackpot that England has won right now. I mean,
Yeah.
they just go all out, get those runs, and then when India comes into play, they'll have these 36 plus test matches experience that these three guys have. They'll
Yep.
come into effective. And that is when Team India will have to take the call of going aggressive against this attack, not let them, pounce on them whenever there is an opportunity. So exactly this is a jackpot that England has won. And the bonus is here कि they are batting first. और baseball जब batting first पे आता है ना तो these guys will get some good runs on the first day, and which is a very crucial role. Now here Ashwin and Jadeja have a role, and of course the two fast bowlers. Considering the overcast conditions that Vineet said, जसप्रीत बुमराह. I mean, this is a predictable squad. अगर आप देखेंगे जो हम कब से बात करते आ रहे हैं predictable
Exactly. We
squad
were
पे,
talking on the
विराट
same
कोहली नहीं
line.
होगा. Absolutely, विराट कोहली नहीं होगा because the last time KL Rahul opened the innings. So if Virat Kohli comes back, so there will be changes. Of course, Srinivai said Shubman Gill might go out.
Yeah.
Virat will come in. This guy, KL Rahul, might bat at number 3. Virat at his position at number 4. So that is for the next test match. But then
Hmm.
Shrikar Bharat getting an opportunity was expected, that we have been talking about for such a long time. I mean, because this is an 5 test matches. You need an expert right now. You need an experience right now to counter
Hmm.
England, to keep in those conditions where the wicket is going to be unpredictable, where the ball is going to bounce suddenly from nowhere and suddenly it will stay low. So that is where
Yes.
Shrikar Bharat, who has the experience, Dhruv Jurel might be more talented, might be more aggressive with the bat, but this guy has got the experience. That's why he got the edge, and that's what we have been talking about ever since the name of these two guys came in. right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a jackpot, and Bazball, great opportunity for England to go on. Bazball again, I would say the second, third, fourth day, it's all about luck. Whatever runs you get is all bonus because the
Yeah.
wicket is like dangerous threat. And look at that, यार wicket देखो पूरा grass भी नहीं दिख रहा है. तो Shami and this guy first day they have a show in hand. They can do whatever
Siraj
they
and
want.
Bumrah.
After that, nothing. Yeah, Siraj,
Yeah.
Siraj, of course. Shami is not there.
Shami is not there. Shrini, what do
Impossible.
you think will be an ideal plan to counter Bazball? Because we know that Duckett and Crawley can start out the first day with whole Bazball thing. So how to counter that?
Okay, but due credit to England, they made the statement. But again, I mean, there's a long walk to walk between making a statement, actually walking out there and making it happen. And I'm saying this right away, as kind of. So where England's baseball identity is concerned, all right. Two batters add a great deal of identity, kind of muscle to it. Bairstow and Ben Stokes.
Yep.
So from that point of view, I'd like to see how prepared are they for the series and what kind of form are these two batsmen for
Yeah.
a series like this one. Because if England's baseball identity needs to be restored over the coming five test matches, these two men will have a very, very important role to play.
Yeah.
But from an overall test series standpoint, I'd look at Ben Stokes and Joe Root coming good for England. If they can come good for England, England is going to hold themselves in good stead over the next few test matches. So the entire onus lies on how these two men are going to back. Uh,
Yeah.
you know, um, there's a guy who's played one test match. There's a guy who's debuting today. There's a guy like kind of So they've got quite a bit of newcomers. Quite a like it's a balanced side when it comes to experience and newness. Um,
Yes.
all said, these two men, Joe Root at number four, Ben Stokes, of course, the captain. These two men, what kind of form they are in, what kind of touch they are in, how can they keep bailing their team out session after session after session when England back? It is up to these two men how England what kind of depth they show in the series going forward. Yes, I mean, like Olipop. Yesterday we were having a show and we were talking about how Olipop could be that signature starting name when it comes to England's baseball aspirations. Fine, but
Yeah.
I mean, let's be very pragmatic about it.
Yep.
In conditions like these, when Ashwin and Jadeja keep going 50 overs each, that constant challenge, you will need experience out there. You will need your Joe Root out there to be at the best of his. The best of his.
No, you're totally right. Because when Bumrah and Siraj will be bowling, it will require a lot of experience to tackle that as well. And England do have fair bit of experience in their newcomers as well. They play a lot of Test cricket, and especially when it comes to Crawley and Ben Duckett, we have seen that they have given some really good performances in some other Test series. Taos, quickly, one take. How do you see that England should
Got
do
stuck on it.
at the
Yeah.
first starting hour or so?
Pardon, can you come up with the question again? I missed out because
Or
the
what England really need to do in the first hour or so, and how do they need to build up their start?
I don't care whatever England does, yeah. I want India to take those first two wickets because this is the most crucial moment, yeah. I mean, they see again. I'll tell you, first day is paradise when you play Test cricket in India. Paradise
Yeah.
for batsmen. You just have to go out there, spend some time, get those runs, and this is where exactly because next 4 days are going to be hell, hell for
Hmm.
anybody who plays straight bat because here it's all about playing cross batted shots, sweeps, getting over the spinners, getting just going out there, expressing yourself. That's it. Playing the typical baseball cricket. Here you can't have a Ajinkya Rane or maybe clean hitter, somebody who likes the ball to come onto the bat, play those kind of straight drives on the second,
Yeah.
third, fourth. So these guys are technically equipped. England have always had her, strong base, strong foundation when it comes to technique, playing on good wickets, playing on seaming conditions. They play straight cricket, straight batted shots, which is like what they'll enjoy on the first day. The next two,
Yeah.
3 days are going to be hell. Next 2, 3,
Mm.
definitely. So here is where exactly England would like to take maximum opportunity, maximum chances, maximum get those maximum runs as much as possible. And I'm looking at like maybe a 250 first day, 250. A 250 on first day is very very strong. 250 if they get, because next 2, 3 days it's gonna be tough. So I'm saying
Srini,
See,
here,
Srini, what do you think?
yeah.
250, he's being very, very generous.
Absolutely,
Oh,
because it's
I know.
Very
first day,
generous.
and that is
See,
where they're going to look. That is where they're going to look. And here, Bumrah and Siraj, they have an opportunity to get those guys because they are going to attack. They are going to. So overcast condition is the best chance for these two guys, Bumrah, and get those first 3 wickets in the first 2, 3 wickets in the first session. Khatam yaar, unki kahani. Then it's
I agree
Ashwin and
with
Ravina.
the conditions bit, because see, had England not won this Test match, all right, I mean, had they lost the toss, and they would have been in, naturally, if India would have won the toss, they would have elected to bat first, which is goes without saying. And if England would have been bowling first here, then not having a pacer to partner Mark Wood
Yeah,
now, right now, given the kind of conditions that are there in Hyderabad, would have started to look a bit odd. So
yeah,
so what does it tell you? It tells you that you take certain decisions based on gut, based on assumptions, based on you take that gut forward, and like and then of course assessing what your strengths are, and etc., etc., and then you wait for other things to fall in line, things which are not in your control. Wait for those things to fall in line so as to kind of give you the perfect combination. And
yeah,
in that, England, having won the toss, have garnered themselves, got themselves a better advantage than
exactly.
what they would have been left with
Mm,
had they
mm,
not won the toss. I'm particularly referring to they going into the test with only one pacer. Now, having
mm.
said that, the same conditions and the same strengths and same brackets apply for India too, as England walk into bat first. They have gone in with two pacers, a trick that England would have probably missed had toss not gone their way, right? And now they have three spinners. Now let's not forget, Rohit Sharma said in the toss that Akshar Patel. Specifically said, one of the reasons why Akshar is there ahead of Kuldeep, is because of the batting depth, and he
Exactly.
feels
Yes.
for Kuldeep and etc. etc. But in conditions like these, Kuldeep is Akshar slight pace, in the air that he can generate. He is like bang on the target. Like he can bowl balls on one spot. He's accurate. And for me, at some point in time, once on pitches like these in India, the roughness begins to show in a matter of time. By the
Yeah,
time the pitches plays over, you see both ends have their spots marked, right? And that's where the one thing that comes into play is accuracy.
yeah,
That is precisely why in the 90s, Anil Kumble in India was such a terrifically dangerous bowler, because the one thing that he had more than anyone was the accuracy bit, and that's what makes an Akshar Patel or a Jadeja so dangerous, is because they can pick a spot and just keep on going no end, right? And that's an advantage that he has. And these are challenges that England will face. And how many batters do they really have to counter this threat? Like,
yeah,
in the middle order. And that's where I said Joe Root, Ben Stokes, two men who can probably, kind of live up to this challenge. So that's why it's a beautiful contest in the making, and it doesn't matter. I mean, everybody's guess how long the test match actually lasts. But that
yeah.
said, I think that's what makes this contest so challenging.
Exactly,
Also, Srinath, I
exactly.
believe Akshar's inclusion is more about having those bonus runs, because Rohit Sharma. I mean,
Mm, yeah,
the last time Rohit Sharma used him as bonus because the top order had failed miserably
Yeah.
most of the time,
yeah,
and that is where Akshar Patel came in, and which is why, I mean, see again, the Akshar wasn't used as the third option. Really, the kind of third option should have been used. He got lesser number of overs because Jadeja and Ashwin did the trick, but then he was at the receiving end whenever Australia came and batted and they got those shots. And this is where exactly because of his pace, these guys can cut the ball cut Akshar towards the point or backward point, then they can go for the pulls and the hooks. Not hooks, of course, he's a spinner. To square leg and deep square leg. That is where
Which is what
exactly
he had
Bazball
said,
can
right?
counter whenever this guy comes in.
Which
So
is what he
that
had
is
said
something
in that
मेरे
series against
दिल को लग रहा है.
Australia, after the series rather, कि अरे
Yeah.
मेरी तो bowling ही नहीं आई, right?
Uh, yeah. He
Yeah,
said
हाँ,
that.
मेरी
Yeah.
मेरी तो
So
bowling ही
that
नहीं है,
is where
which is
Kuldeep, I
very true.
think,
I won't be surprised
so
if it happens again, if he says it again.
Yeah.
that is where Kuldeep comes. So what I'm worried about, what if I mean, it rarely happens. Ashwin or a Jadeja feels, but that is where Kuldeep comes in and counts those, tackle those baseball shots, or those horizontal shots, or those straighter ones. That is where, I mean, he's an orthodox guy, somebody different. He's got the variety. He's got the nib in the air. He's got the pace. He's unlike the Tabriz Shamsi or a Brad Hogg who was slower in the air. This guy knows
Hmm.
how to mix up those deliveries, and that is where it counts. So yeah, the Akshar is bonus runs while minus the bowling
See, it
for
is
sure.
clear that it is also playing on India's mind that their batting needs to be bolstered, especially when Virat is missing. See, Virat has been like kind of the tracking Virat. He was beginning to obviously he was the mind and the application had been there, but somehow in the middle that with those runs that had gone missing, you could now see Virat, especially in South Africa, the way he was kind of hanging in there. Like the guy is like back in that kind of the mind, what when you look at Virat standing out there in the middle, something about him is now telling you like this guy's back, to being that um kind of rigid middle order batsman that India wants him to
Yeah.
be. So from that
Exactly.
standpoint, India is missing Virat, that
For
as
sure.
desperately as they would
For
always
sure.
do.
And
And
Srini,
in
there's
that,
an
I think it's
interesting.
also playing on their minds. The fact that you want to make this statement that you need an extra batsman to add depth is actually one of those statements. That's why I also said that the series is so important for a Shreyas Iyer, because I really want to
Exactly. It
know
is.
how you kind of take advantage of being the so-called best batter in the Indian middle order, where playing a test match at home is concerned. So I think what kind of a
Yeah.
statement do you make here is important.
Yeah, and as we heard from Shreyas Iyer a few days back, he said that he's ready to take up this challenge. That's why he played a few matches there in the Ranji Trophy as well. And he said that I pretty much needed these matches because I want to be the best in this 11 and I want to give my best against England. So we're all waiting for Shreyas Iyer to put up his best show. Well, an interesting fact out there when it comes to Virat Kohli's absence, this is the first time since 2011 the team India is playing without Kohli, Pujara, and Rahane. So this is going to be very, very interesting to see how this Indian 11 will be facing England. Well, the match has begun, but I'll quickly take up few comments. Would request our producer to shoot as many questions as possible, and would request our panelists also to take up these questions quickly. Sports fans saying England batting first with big advantage. They can put India under pressure till our bowlers settle down. Well, a sports fan, we discussed this, and that's right. Taus rightly mentioned. It's a really, really important thing for England, and it's like a paradise that they have won the toss here on the first day. Next comment, please. Jason saying first match we would get a good idea how this series could turn out for England. Absolutely, Jason. Let's move to the next one. Not a fan of this Bazball thing, but I guess the best thing these kind of teams who are kind of clueless and can't tolerate the hot climate, Bazball could be the best and smart choice. Shiri, what do you think? Can this be a smart and best choice for England?
See, first of all, he says he's not a fan of this baseball thing. Forget being a fan. I don't believe in this concept baseball. Test cricket. Test cricket is test cricket. You don't bring in a new term which is suddenly find something to associate it and say this is how. This is England way of England saying like this is how we play a test cricket, and that's driven on the term aggression, right? Aggression is the term that they have identified with, whether it's be with the bat or the ball. And here, England's baseball theory, in my
Right.
opinion, is going into the game with three spinners. The first ball is coming up, so let's wait for yeah. So okay, so going into the game with three spinners is what I see as England's baseball theory here. Aggression, kind of take the conditions into consideration, know where you're playing your first test match, the kind of conditions that are going to be. You're going to be bowling fourth in this test. You have three spinners. You are aggressive with the ball. That's where England's mindset is stemming from. So smart choice. Well, we'll see as the game goes further.
We'll see.
I have a
We'll take
question
one
if I
last
can
comment.
ask me, bhai.
Yeah, we'll just take one last comment,
Yeah.
Taos, and then
हाँ.
we'll go ahead with your question. Jason's again saying that I feel confident about our bowlers, but can't say the same about our batters. Well, we discussed this, Jason, and that's where, the whole point of Akshar Patel's inclusion came into our discussion. Okay, we have this from Rolit. Gill will score more than 700 runs in series. Mark my words. Well, everyone's waiting for that. Let's see whether that happens or not, because everybody is waiting for Shubman Gill to be in form and to play really good cricket. And what will happen after the first two tests would be quite interesting, because Virat Kohli is unavailable for the first two test matches, and that's why we can see Shubman Gill in this 11. Will there be any place for Shubman Gill after Virat Kohli comes back to the team or not? That's another big question. Well, thus we'll go ahead with your question and then we'll end this live.
Srini, I mean, you're talking about Virat. How do you see Virat? This version of Virat, is he more? I believe he's more enjoying his cricket much than he earlier. It was all about career. Earlier, it was about making his status, his name in the world of cricket, international cricket, getting those big runs, whatever the format is, IPL, Test cricket. Today, how do you see this guy is taking a leave at will? This is a third personal excuse coming up with the personal excuse that I want to go home. I have some issues,
No,
or
no, no,
maybe
no,
he's.
no, not
So how do
excuse.
you? I'm here. My question is he taking? Is he enjoying cricket much this time, or he's taking it more seriously? How is it? How is he reacting
No,
to it?
there's a very simple thing with a man of with the kind of with the level of cricketer that a Virat Kohli is. The benchmark is not going to be set by anyone else for him. He's
Yeah.
going to be the one setting those benchmarks for himself. See, that's what makes is a difference between a good cricketer and a great, right?
Yeah.
And Virat is truly a great, and why is because he has set his own benchmarks.
Yep.
He has defined the category, the level of kind of work that he wants to put in his own game, and and from there, like how he wants to kind of pursue his career. See, the only difference I see is maybe last year there was this 50 over thing in mind on mind, that was the biggest thing of the year. Probably this year and the next year coming, maybe you'll see a different Virat from a red ball
Mm.
perspective, because again,
Yeah.
he knows that the biggest test challenges are in store. The Virat that I remember between 2017 and 2019, the guy who identified that, going to South Africa, going to England, going to Australia is going to be the peak of my captaincy. And then we saw what happened, on those tours. So, and, later on. So I'm saying that, it's about what kind of benchmark has he put for himself is going to define Virat. And I think you got to give him that share of respect. And, when you discuss Virat, you got to understand from his perspective what is it that he's thinking, because clearly he's a guy who sets his own kind of keeps raising the bar all the time. Unfortunate that he's not around this series, first two test matches, because he would have set the tempo. That's my
Yeah.
view. Given what I saw of him in South Africa, he would have been looking forward to set the tempo in this test match. So really unfortunate that he's not here, but I mean, I really hope everything is absolutely fine with him.
Right, because Virat Kohli withdrawing from the first two test matches is a huge, huge thing. Obviously, there must be something really very important that he had to address because he was there in Hyderabad and then he told BCCI and Rohit Sharma that he won't be participating in the first two test matches. So, obviously, there must be something really very important and we must give that, private space to him to deal with everything that he is dealing right now. But yes, his absence is a huge, huge thing
You
for
know,
Team India.
cricketers of this stature, what I've seen and learned over the years, cricketers of this stature, well, it really has to be extremely something important, for them to
Exactly.
say that I'm not making myself available for a test match, because for them a test match is life. Test match is everything.
Yeah.
So to say that I'm not available for two test matches back to back in a row, it has to be something very, very important. So one can
Yeah.
just say that hope everything is fine. That's it.
Yes, let's hope everything's fine. And let's just see how this first session goes out for Team India. Well, the match has begun. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining with me and enjoy Test cricket. Thanks a lot.
फास्टेस्ट क्रिकेट स्कोर अपडेट्स या सबसे डिटेल्ड स्टैट्स
क्रिकेट के अंदर बाहर की खबरें,
या हेल्दी डिबेट्स
सबसे एक्यूरेट एनालिसिस,
या फैंस का क्रेज, सबके लिए एक ही प्लेटफॉर्म, क्योंकि क्रिकेट मतलब क्रिकेट नेक्स्ट।